My name is Kylie Beck and I'm giving a speech on the effects of divorce on children. Now, are you going to be a part of the problem or a part of the solution? Today I'm here to talk about the negative effects that the children have to go through when their parents decide to divorce. Each year, 1 million children in America will suffer the effects of divorce. Half of the children born this year will experience divorce before they are 18 years old. There are different stages that each child will experience going through a divorce emotionally, mentally, physically. Preschool, regression usually in their developmental stage, sleep disturbances, and a fear of separation from that custodial parent. They seem to cling a lot more than a child that's from a healthy relationship. Ages 6 to 8, they openly grieve. They fantasize about their parents getting back together once again. They usually have idolizations of their parents being together. Ages 8 to 11, they become more angry. They usually tend to label their parents as good or bad, whatever benefits them the most. Then ages 12 to 18, usually at this age, the children become much more depressed or suicidal, and they also have violent episodes. Many children that have to experience divorce usually become fearful and anxious. There's also long-term effects that can affect them when they are in future relationships for their own. Usually, children of divorce that grow up and get into relationships of their own usually cannot hold the relationship, or they can continue an abusive relationship that maybe they'll find acceptable, or they leave their relationships very easily. If there tends to be problems in their future relationships, they're more apt to leave them much quicker. There was a study done with 464 couples. The women from the relationships, in relationships from parents that were divorced, tend to have left their relationships much easily, much quicker. And then you have the women that come from intact families that tended to stay into the relationships and saw them through. Also, children from divorce also can experience much more behavioral, emotional, and mental disorders. And they also are more likely to end up in abusive relationships and can also get into drugs and have a higher suicidal rate. There's also the chance, too, that the child is always going to usually end up with the mother. And when that happens, the mother could be dealing with this in a very hard way, mentally and emotionally. The child is left there to take care of that parent. And in a study, 15% of children in a 10-year follow-up where the child had to take care of that parent psychologically because they weren't fit to take care of their own child, let alone themselves. There was a lot of damage and a lot of long-term effects with that psychologically to the child then. When the child is left there with a parent that they have to take care of, they need the guidance and they need to be taken care of too. Also, with that saying, according to Mark, chapter 10, verse 9, what therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. A lot of the problems that we experience in relations nowadays, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot more pressure than there used to be. There's a lot of problems with communication between two people. I have been married, and I can say, it's not easy. It is hard. But you have to see your way through it. And you are promised wonderful things for you and your family. Whether you need counseling or whether you need to speak to a doctor, you've got to sort out every possible avenue before you give up. Now, are you going to be a part of the problem or are you going to be a part of the solution? Thank you.